Hi, this is Connor Powers, and I'm doing the marriage interview with my mom. Mom, how long have you been married?
Dad and I have been married for 25 years.
How old were you when you met each other?
We met when we were both 18, when we were freshmen in college at Marist College.
Why did you decide to get married?
Well, we both had the same goals, it seemed. We both wanted the same things, it seemed, and we both loved each other very much.
Describe your engagement.
Well, we knew we were going to get engaged. We knew that we loved each other. We wanted to get married. And we actually picked out a ring together, but I didn't know when Daddy was going to actually give it to me. And when we went out to eat one evening and ordered a bottle of champagne, and that's when I knew I was getting the ring. But our engagement was, we had a short engagement. It was only about 9 or 10 months. And it was a very joyous time. Both of our families were very happy, and it was a very nice time of our lives when we could plan together.
How old were you when you got married?
I was 25, and so was Dad.
What were you looking for in a spouse?
I was looking for faithfulness and honesty, and someone who wanted a lot of children, who wanted a family, and who was committed to the family.
How does the reality of marriage compare to your expectations of what marriage would be?
Well, it's not always easy. There's a lot of, there's a lot of give and take, and you have some days that are good as the marriage is good. There are some days that are not as good. There are some days when it's hard to communicate. There are some days when it's going really well. I mean, it gets more complicated when you have children too, because sometimes what you want for your child may not be what your spouse thinks is important. So that's when it's so vitally important to communicate with each other and to try to come to some agreement, so that the both of you are share one view regarding how you want your children raised and what's important in raising your children. You can't give your child mixed messages.
How important is money in marriage?
Well, money makes it easier in a lot of respects because you're able to give your kids, I think, you're able to be choosier about the type of education you want to give your child. It is important. I think it is very important because it does take that one aspect out of your marriage that I know can be a very tough sticking point for a lot of marriages. Money can be a very hard thing for a marriage and for raising children. So if you can pull that out of the equation, I think it does make your marriage easier.
Did you have similar values and/or religion?
Yes, everything was very similar. We came from very similar backgrounds. We both came from Brooklyn. We both have similar heritage, and our faith was very important to both of our families.
What advice would you give teenagers who are dating and thinking about getting married?
What advice would I give teenagers? Is that what you said? Teenagers? Well, teenagers I don't think should get married ever, ever, ever. I think that it's very important to go to school, get settled, and also to get settled financially and to really find out maybe who you are as an individual before you go out on this quest of being one person one person, or one being two people with the same ideals. I think it's important to know what you want in it, and as a teenager you don't know that. Because what you want and know as a teenager is not what's important to you as you get older. And I also think that, you become to know your faith a little better too as you get older, and that can help you, guide you into the type of spouse that you choose. I think your faith is always forming, but I think it's still too immature. Your faith formation is still immature in your teen years.
Looking back, what would you do differently if you could?
I honestly don't think I would do anything differently. Not one thing.
What would you say is the key to a happy marriage?
Well, I have this saying that when two people are in love, they don't look at each other, but they look in the same direction. So, if you can understand what that means, is that it's important that the two of you are on the same page, and that you have the same goals and the same ideas and the same beliefs, and that you share that love in those goals. So you're not looking at each other, but you're looking in the same direction.
And do you think a couple should live together before deciding to get married?
Absolutely not.
And why?
Because you're not married. You only live together when you're married. You're living in sin if you do it the other way.
Alright, sounds good. Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome.